So next up, Sara Hops. You're on.
Okay, my name is Sara Hops, and I am a food fanatic. Cooking, eating, sharing meals with the people I love is the most valued to me. Remembering the love grown in Danish new potatoes and my mom's home-cooked boboe, it's a Danish bread. So away from home, we have other choices. We either have a meal plan or cook for ourselves. But in either choice, what does context really mean? After learning about the terrible way chickens are raised and the amount of pesticides that are in my food as a result of our industrialized agricultural system, I would like to know more information to make my own choices of what my impacts are. The more I learn, the less choice I feel I have to change the conditions workers in Immokalee, Florida endure just to survive. Trader Joe's and corporations contribute to paying workers 50 cents for every 32 pounds they pick. I feel lucky to have such abundant choice, but I know I can do more to affect the lives of much more than just my diet. How do we know the guidelines of where food comes from in the larger food system? When large food distributors like Sodexo have to worry about supplying to so many people, how can they take into account the larger impacts? After a long day of class, I cannot begin to think about where that tomato comes from on my plate. And even just thinking about that, I know I have a nagging feeling that it's not good. If you think of any of the dining halls, how much do you know what the food service director, Ken Toon? How many of us know him? Or the great work he's doing for the students on our campus? The effort made by students during our season is incredible for the number of people we serve. We are fortunate enough to have people who know what kohlrabi is and even think about what real food means to them, as seen by a lot of my fellow presenters today. What we have begun to think about and do on campus is to create a healthy world of food, nourishing humans, economics, earth, and culture, and labor. Real food means ecologically sound, organic, community-based and local, fair labor, and humane for all animals. If this seems vague, just think about our own community. How many resources can you immediately think about that fit this criteria? Our search for real food should not be hard. We are definitely not reaching 1,500 miles for where our food comes from. Skip the slide. Okay. Simplecast Farm is right across from a student housing complex, Popton Village, and there are countless other farms in the area, such as Atlas Farm, which my fellow presenter and student Dan works at. All my slides are very out of order. Okay. So we don't even have to go beyond campus. We have the permaculture garden. How many have worked there over the last year? Permaculture's over there. The student farm. There's some student farm people here. And dining services already sources 27% local produce and is buying from the student farm now and goes out, the chefs pick herbs from the permaculture garden for our meals. So back to the question of trusting where our food comes from. I'd rather trust Joe Zerkowski than Trader Joe's. Joe processes local veggies in Hadley to make the transition from farm to institution much easier for our school. Joe supplies vegetables to our campus. How many students know him? I definitely don't. There's a few here. But I want to join my peers in making a commitment to educating about where our food comes from. Together. UMass Real Food can mean anyone who knows what their meal consists of when they eat it at the dining halls, or when you cook it for yourself. 3,500 students involved nationwide and 400 schools in the Real Food Challenge Network, all with similar intentions, working against and with our current food systems. Food Day is a chance to recognize the efforts of all, so why not do it every day? The campus commitment works to further the efforts on campus to make a transparent food system. The calculator analyzes the invoices of our food intake and establishes a place to discuss how to achieve 20% real food by 2020. All our initiatives by students and staff can be recognized as a whole by the nation and begin a larger transition to a better food system. UMass is known for our large size, so why not match it with our impressive food network? Think about yourself and your food choices and how that influences you. Do you want to spread the word about the national the national campaign, or just change the way you personally think about food. With the Real Food Challenge, we can begin these conversations and create a better food system for all.